there was an experience that I had at Wachovia Bank that had a significant impact on me. It was early on at my time there, and I had recently gone through some real change, from a faith perspective in my life, and so a lot of things were new to me, in the way in which I was thinking, the way in which I was experiencing things, and I had a very good friend, the guy that I would label as the most influential person in my life, a friend of mine, Steve. Was somebody that I would go to for advice. And so I had this situation at the bank where I was responsible for a division. And in that role, there was a lot of politics and threat. And what happened in particular is that the credit card group, with whom I did a lot of work, had hired some new senior executives. And those senior executives came from First Chicago. And they came in with an assumption and a mindset that they would do, as part of their job, the things that I was doing. And it was a very big threat to me. And so I was very defensive and concerned and anxious and losing sleep and all that stuff, And I went and I met and talked with my friend about, how do I do this? What do I do? And he just kind of looked at me and said, well, I don't understand what the struggle is. He said, your job is to take your background and experience and apply it to the business that you're involved with and make recommendations as it relates to what's best for the bank. And so I think you should take this situation and I think you should assess honestly, does it make sense and is it best for the bank for you to maintain the role that you've played in the past? Does it make sense for them to maintain that role or take over that role? Does it make sense for there to be some collaboration between you guys in that role? And you should just write it down honestly. Don't get into the politics and go and meet with them and talk through it with them. And it was just so refreshing to think about, I don't have to win. It was very hard to not do that. It really was new for me. Very, very different from where I came. And I went and did that, and, I happened to maintain control over it at that time, but that's not the point. The point was, it was a whole new way of looking at work for me, that I could just honestly look at it and say, what's best for the organization? And so that really influenced the way in which we do business here, in that honestly believe that if we approach clients, and if we approach vendors, and if we approach customers, and try and honestly approach them in a way that says, what's best for each of us, it's going to work out much better. And it makes life a lot easier. We're not playing games. We're able to be honest with one another. It makes the whole game a lot easier.